Well, hello there, friends. Thanks for stopping by. Right here on Fantasy Pros, I'm Chris Welsh, and today on the episode, we're talking about 12 players that experts are drafting that I want you to target. But before we get all experty, I got a question for you. How would you like to win a free 1-year premium upgrade to everything Fantasy Pros has to offer? Sounds pretty good, right? All you got to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, which is right here, and comment on the video below. That is it. Whether you're looking for custom mock drafts, salary cap draft tools, or in-depth analysis of your fantasy performance, Fantasy Pros has the tools to help you win. You can unlock the most powerful fantasy tools in the industry. Now, don't want to wait for the giveaway? Sign up today at fantasypros.com/premium and start playing smarter, not harder. Who are the experts drafting? Well, I might have a little bit of an insight in this, so let's go take a look. Coming in at number 12, Diamondbacks outfielder Corbin Carroll. No surprise the masses would flock to the fastest man in baseball, a 3.66 to 90 feet. Corbin Carroll's ADP is rising, but it's because the industry wants the next big thing. Carroll's ECR in Fantasy Pros currently is 76 with a high of 46. But since March 1st over on the NFBC, Carroll has a 56 ADP and a high of 36. Carroll's projected for 13 homers and 21 stolen bases on BatX projections, but as a leadoff hitter for the Diamondbacks in a new contract which lessens the risk of him being sent down, experts are jumping on the opportunity to get a first-round talent in the 4th or 5th. So even though the price is rising, it hasn't stopped any experts. In fact, it's because of them. Number 11, Padres starting pitcher Joe Musgrove. Now, prior to Musgrove's injury, he was going around the 70s. Musgrove fractured his toe, and then his ADP fell down into the late 90s, or even in some spots the 100 range. His recovery, though, has been quick, and it's possible he misses only 1 to 2 starts in season. Musgrove is projected for a mid-3 ERA and a huge rise in wins on the bat to 12 wins, even though his innings are just sitting at under 170. This isn't an arm injury scare, which would usually make experts run for the hills. In this case, they're taking advantage of the value. Musgrove has an ECR high of 60, and if healthy, he'd be going 2 rounds higher than he currently is. Number 10, Royals first baseman Vinnie Pestano. The top end of first base is weighted to the big guys. Then there's a big drop-off that starts to happen, and that's why Vinnie Pestano has become a huge industry target. Pasquantino's projected the 6th best batting average on Steamer at first base and one of only 3 first basemen projected for 20-plus homers and a 275 batting average or higher. The other 2 first basemen, you ask? Freddie Freeman and Vlad Guerrero Jr. Vinny hit 295 with 10 homers in 72 games in 2022, and with the low strikeout risk and high contact skills have made him an expert target for almost every team. Number 9, Twins starting pitcher Joe Ryan. Adding velocity is like the core ingredient for spring training hype for pitchers. Joe Ryan has done just that, while also throwing a new slider. That's ingredient number 2. Ryan has a 134 ECR in Fantasy Pros, which is a +9 differential between his ADP. So the ranks are going higher than where he's actually being drafted. He also has a rank high of 91, which that's actually higher than Nick Lodolo. Projections are incredibly favorable that actually look similar to Joe Musgrove's numbers, just in a few less innings. Post 100 starting pitchers are an expert secret recipe, and Joe Ryan seems to be one of those core pieces. Number 8, Tampa Bay Rays outfielder Randy Rosario. No one was more electric in the later rounds of the WBC than Randy Rosario. I will always remember that catch and then the mean mug. He's coming off of a 20-30 home run to stolen base season, and projections believe he's going to grow off of those numbers. The BatX has him hitting the exact same amount of homers, 20 again, but he's up to 35 stolen bases, which is 6th in all of baseball and 3rd among outfielders. A 35 ADP seems to be his home, as that's his Fantasy Pros ECR and his NFBC ADP since March 1st. The difference is people are reaching to get their guy. The highest pick in NFBC in that same period was 23 overall, and one ranker on Fantasy Pros has put Arozarena at 18 overall. His combination of solid batting average and big counting stat numbers have made him a target for everyone. He becomes even more a priority when experts start taking big power hitters early on with stolen bases like Vlad, Freddie Freeman, or Austin Riley. That's why you and everybody else wants Randy Arozarena. Number 7, Astros starting pitcher Christian Javier. Everybody is looking for the next Spencer Strider, and the answer from many experts is Christian Javier. Like Strider, Javier is a mainly fastball slider pitcher. Javier had an 11.74 K per 9 in 2022, which he sported with a 2.54 ERA in 148 innings. If his innings can push to 180, Javier's skill set can make him a top 5 SP in fantasy baseball in 2023. He has a FantasyPros ECR rank expert consensus ranking of 54. That is a 6+ differential from his ADP, so it's higher. He's also going 52 on NFBC with a high of 25. If you want controlled ERA on a great team with big strikeouts like many experts, you want to look at Christian Javier. Number 6, Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano. The loss of Edwin Diaz to the closer pool is going to be felt across all closers. Where Emmanuel Clase jumps to the top spot and then Josh Hader is right behind him, Jordan Romano meets that middle ground still for so many wanting to jump into the upper tier closer pool. Romano saved 36 games with a 2.11 ERA in 2022. This coming year, he steps back into an uncontested closer role on a team that should provide plenty of opportunities in the Blue Jays, but not at the same cost as those top guys. Even with the loss of Edwin Diaz. His current 57 ECR versus his ADP, the rank is actually an 8+ differential. So 8 spots higher than his ADP is where the consensus rank is going. He's also got a high draft point of 35. That's someone that really wants closers. Where you take those first couple closers though, you're passing on incredible hitters, and that's why Romano allows you a better roster build while getting a lockdown closer. And that is why experts are targeting Romano instead of jumping in at the very, very tippy top. Number 5, Cardinals outfielder, yes, Lars Norfleet. I have been beating the drum about Lars Norfleet this entire offseason, a lot due to his continued work at Driveline with hopes to optimize more barreling into those big EVs. That is what he's done over the last 2 years, going to Driveline, learning to hit the ball harder. This year, it's been all about taking those hard EVs and barreling them. This has all led to him becoming an expert favorite to fill out one of those outfield spots. The position itself kind of falls off in later rounds, and that's why it's exciting when you could find 20 homers and 10 stolen bases post 150. His overall ECR still sits at 184, which is crazy to me, but with a high of 29, though if I'm being fair, that 29 on ECR might be me. He's a secret weapon most experts and analysts, though, are trying to get shares of in every draft, even if they're not named Chris Welsh. Coming in at number 4 is Dodgers first baseman Freddie Freeman. Most first-round picks aren't relative to the draft position we as drafters own, but near the back end of the first round, or in a perfect world, the start of the second, is where everybody wants Freddie Freeman. His power dipped a little bit last year, but he made up for it with a career-high 13 stolen bases and the second-best batting average of his career at 325. The term safe gets thrown around a ton, but there might not be a safer overall pick than Freddie Freeman, as BatX projections have him hitting 305 with 25 homers, 11 stolen bases, and 99 runs with 95 RBI. He's the highest player on this list, but once you get outside the top 10 overall players, he's the guy that every expert is staring at. Number 3, Angels outfielder Taylor Ward. Remember all the things I said about Lars Norfleet a little bit ago? Well, take all of that and now put it in overdrive. That's Taylor Ward. I can safely say that he is the expert's expert pick of any player outside the top 100. Ward has an 11+ positive differential between his ECR and his ADP, so that ECR rank is way higher than where he's actually going. If you take out catchers on FantasyPros ECR, which those can be ranked a little bit higher for NFBC pushes them up, or 2-catcher leagues, Only one other player outside the top 100 has a higher individual rank than Taylor Ward. That person, by the way, is Gleyber Torres. Ward is projected for close to 25 homers and 10 stolen bases with a great batting average. I expect to see quite a few shares myself of Ward in the coming weeks. Number 2 is Braves starting pitcher Spencer Strider. So how about the next Spencer Strider being Spencer Strider? The conversation for Strider this year isn't really about will he repeat, but will he have the innings to become the number 1 pitcher in all of baseball. Strider had an over 13 K per 9, and no pitcher had less innings with 200 plus strikeouts than Strider. And I think that's by about 40 innings. You hear a lot of people talk about how if Jacob deGrom pitches 140 innings, he is the best pitcher in baseball. Well, many experts are taking the injury risk out that deGrom has and saying, I'll take my chance with deGrom Light in Spencer Strider. He currently has a 26 ECR with an ADP on NFBC since March 1st of 25, which all has been an increase as the drafting season has gone on. If you can get Strider in the late second or early third round, you'll be walking hand in hand with what many experts are doing. And that leads us to the number 1 guy that all experts want to draft. Number 1, Rangers shortstop, Corey Seeger. Seeger was one of the 10 most shifted players in all of 2022. He also just happened to have a career low BABIP of 242, which, by the way, it had never been under 300 in his career. Seeger saw a 70-point increase also in his WOBA when he was not shifted on, which is why so many experts and drafters alike are storming to draft Corey Seager this year now that the shift is banned. His current 42 ECR has a +6 differential versus his ADP. So again, this is a guy ranked higher than where he is going. And that 42 has also shown how rankers have become more aggressive versus even what's happening over on the NFBC, which is just about a full round higher than the average NFBC ADP. Shortstop feels deep, but there's a lot more risk near the end, and that's why many are trying to acquire this 30-plus home run hitter at shortstop who has a great batting average, and that's why Corey Seager is the number 1 player experts are drafting. And those, my friends, are the 12 players that experts are drafting. Corbin Carroll, Joe Musgrove, Vinnie Pasquantino, Joe Ryan, Randy Arozarena, who I love, Christian Javier, Jordan Romano, and the top 5 looks like Lars Norfleet, Freddie Freeman, Taylor Ward, Spencer Strider, and Corey Seager. Who do you think the experts got wrong? Or who do you love the most? Comment below and get yourself entered in to win a premium upgrade to FantasyPros, assuming you are also subscribed, of course. I'm Chris Welsh, and you can find me on Twitter at IsItTheWelsh. You can come, say nice things, shower me with praise. If you have mean things to say, let me give you my other Twitter handle. Joe Pisapia 17. That's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll talk to you next time right here on Fantasy Pros. Bye, friends.